watching that story. But for all the questions, what happens to Kiddopia going forward, we are now joined by Nitish Mittersain, who is the joint MD and CEO at Nazara Tech, to discuss this acquisition in detail. Thanks a lot, Nitish, for joining in. The first obvious question is that when you first acquired this company, it was at a net valuation of close to around 150, 160 odd crores. In the next 4 years, when you bought the remainder, the valuation has jumped 4 times, close to around 620 crores as per this round. What caused this significant jump in valuation where the underlying business did not grow as much? And where are you funding this from? Because I look at your numbers, the cash and equivalents that you have on your books are close to around 155 crores. So will you be taking debt to fund this?
Sure. So a couple of points there. One is when we acquired the majority stake, 51% in 2019, the business of this company was around 20 to 25 crores annually, compared to about 220 crores now. So it's almost grown 10 times in the last 4 years versus the valuation that we paid, which is about 4 times. It's also important to understand that the 620 crore value that we prescribed to this company, the Kiddopia company or the paperboard company actually has 155 crores of cash as of March end. So net of cash, the value actually is closer to maybe about 450, 460 crores, which I believe from a Nazara perspective is extremely value accretive to our shareholders, as well as the potential for us to grow the business now. We have specific ideas how we can, in recent quarters, some of the issues we faced in terms of growing the subscriber base. We have some very good ideas that we hope to implement in the coming months, which will hopefully show a new spurt of growth. In terms of the cash question that you had, Nazara today has cash equivalents of nearly 1,100 crores. The 155 crores you are mentioning is actually the cash on the balance sheet of paperboard apps.
Okay. All right. So just wanted to understand, you're saying that the business for Kiddopia has grown from 20 to 25 crores in terms of business revenue in FY21 to around 220 odd crores currently?
That's right.
Okay. What about the subscriber base? And if you could compare the numbers on an FY23 to versus 24 basis for us, because we do understand that there's been some amount of sluggishness which has taken place in the business. So if you could just share what the subscriber rate was in terms of addition FY24 versus FY23, as well as the revenue and EBITDA levels, and whether there's been pressure in this business.
So FY23 revenues for paperboard was 220 crores versus FY24, which was 219 crores. And our EBITDA actually improved in FY24. We were FY23 about 35, 36 crores, which increased to 56 crores in FY24. That said, the subscriber base was flat for us, largely driven by pressures on the user acquisition on Apple in the US. But like I was saying, I think we found other ways that we can work around this. And one of the reasons we've taken full control of this company is to be able to execute fast some of the ideas that we have. We think just the US market is much, much larger than what Kiddopia is operating today. And it's really become a very loved franchise with kids in the North American market. We also think the India market can be a very interesting opportunity and is one of our growth strategies for this business. I think over the next quarter, we will launch India first model for Kiddopia, which also we hope to grow over this year.
So the stagnating revenues at around 200, 220 crores over the last 3 years with, net profit being anywhere between 30 to 40 crores as well. Where does this number scale up to, say, 2 to 3 years from now, after you've done all the strategies of fast-paced growth and changes that you aspire to do here?
I mean, I wouldn't want to give a guidance, but I think, anything less than double in the next 3 years, or at least double in the next 3 years is what we should really aim for, and my team should strive for.
All right, and quickly because we have you with us right now, there was a GST demand notice that came into 2 of your subsidiaries. It was close to around 1,120 crores. What's your comment on that? And what are you doing to, mitigate that risk?
So this is part of the ongoing GST issues for the real money gaming industry, which we're well aware of. And, I think over 1.5 lakh crores of GST demand have been put on it. So I think Nazara's relatively small player in that space. And of course, the 1,000 crores sounds like a large number, is a large number also. But in context to the overall industry, it's still not very large. The subsidiaries have their own managements and boards which are looking into the matter, and they will take the right call. But generally, if you look at the whole status of this current issue, it's really awaiting the hearing at the Supreme Court. So I think we
Sure.
will see how that pans out. The other thing is the industry is anticipating that with the recent inclusion of, a
Sure.
clause.
Right.
Anyway.
All right, we've completely run out of time, but we're going to continue this conversation. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us. So that's Nazara Technologies. We need to wrap on the show. Business Lunch up next.